the Nautilus, getting banned against JinJiao, who probably was one of the most successful members in the first game, as Zeri's open and locked in here for Assum.
So LGD doing exactly what we thought. Ban one, you get the other, considering FPX didn't think that they need to ban that one out. Now we get to see where they go with the lane matchup. Things we've seen are like Twitch come back into the bot lane, and a lot of people go up against Zeri. Of course, we still have things like Ezreal, which are up, and, you know, you could do fine. You could just chill in laning phase, look to be a menace later on. Yep. And FPX going to go straight towards the Yuumi. Another champion that we hit on kind of doesn't really feel like it was like nerfed or buffed like too hard in either direction, just getting a little bit of an adjustment coming into 12.12.
I like adjustment a lot, and with the Lee Sin jungle, does pretty well. Now, hold the phone. This is enabled this time, and we've only seen it twice in the LEC. And in the first game, we got baited in, but it was a Viego that, oh, well, Clid's going to play it anyway. This time around, Shadow doesn't get his Viego. So surely, Shadow, you don't do this to us.
So, out of all the junglers playing today, I checked all their solo queue accounts. Clid is the only one playing it like an extraordinary amount. Loyen's playing it a little bit, so maybe we get it in our second series, but neither Shadow nor Quay have really been picking up the champion too much. Shadow will just go towards the Xin Zhao. So, you know, going to bring a bit of early skirmishing, going to bring a bit of peel later on into the game. And if they do want to go down the path of peeling for their AD carry, looking to play the front-to-back style, it seems like Rakan going to be the go-to answer for JinJiao, which, I mean, hey, Rakan, very forgiving champion. You can kind of walk into the enemy jungle, find vision by yourself. If you go too far forward, you always have things like the E and W to escape.
Where we know that Xin Zhao doesn't. So he's all in, all committed. Engage piled up now nicely, though, for LGD. But on the other side, FPX, AD carry is going to be Twitch. So LWX and Hung are going to pilot this bottom lane that, yeah, Lyric, we all know about. But in the LPL, it's only been played, I think, 6 times. Yeah, 6 times. Yep. And it's lost 5 of those times. Yep.
Yeah. Right. This has been one of our go-to answers to the Zeri. Pretty much picked all the time against her. Has not really worked out. I mean, laning phase, right? You're going to get through as Twitch Yuumi. Then it's all about coming into the mid game, right? Finding those assassination potentials, coming in with your Q, finding a huge spray and pray later on, and just running people down. We'll see if FPX are going to be able to do it. Doesn't set Hung up as the huge playmaker that we always expect him to be. Has played the Yuumi twice so far this split, so nothing new for him coming out, but not really a champion that feels like it enables his strengths to the fullest.
Yeah, I will say, every time Hung is on an Enchanter, I get a little bit sad inside. The Lulu games, the Yuumi games.
His last Nami game against JDG, though, absolutely cracked.
That's true. That's true. And even the Renata game in the first game that we saw of the series was also that flashing forward Hung that we know and love. And I guess we're in a meta that, you know, definitely supports Enchanters being picked a lot more. So we'll have to deal with it. And we'll also have to deal with the fact that FPX are double ban topside. There's actually a triple ban there. A Silas on top of that. We're getting a lot of solo laners targeted here, and not many options left available. Maybe someone's on something a little bit more passive this time, Lyric.
Yeah, I was kind of expecting FPX to just go for the blind pick mid once again. Just every time the Ahri's up, I kind of expect Care to go for it. They're just going to go back towards Summit's Gragas. He did play this in their series against JDG, giving a little bit more appeal. You know, very diverse in terms of engage, disengage on the table, and just being able to split up those team fights. When LGD so far kind of setting up for very much wanting to have a formation, Shadow and JinJiao jumping in on the front line, giving room to Fearness, giving room to Assum, I'm sorry. And now Fearness kind of doubling down on that, right? Bringing out the Ornn, really looking for these controlled front-to-back team fights. And now, where will Yeji want to go with this mid lane pick? Lissandra actually let through this time around.
Yep.
Would be great for being able to find easy access onto Lwx, who's really set up as the only damage dealer so far.
I was going to ask you a little bit about LGD's damage, though, because with this pick getting locked in, we've got our AP threat, okay. We've got our Zeri. We have a lot of frontline. We have a lot of engage. And as we get a response here from Care that goes towards his playstyle, Ahri, Galio, Corky, they all seem fine. I feel like, Lyric, you got to tell me a little bit more about LGD, because they're a one-track mind putting their eggs in the Assum basket.
Yeah, I don't feel like it's too bad for them, though, because when you look at if it's like, okay, neither team's going to really have a significant carry outside of their AD carry, well, LGD have a much bigger front line, right? Coming in with a champion like the Ornn, you have Xin Zhao, you have Rakan, you have so many people who are going to be able to tank damage for you. Even Lissandra, right? Buying space with her Frozen Tomb going into the enemy side. So I feel like LGD set up decently. FPX definitely going to be the ones with a bit more proactivity, able to come out, especially once they get that Galio ultimate online, linking up with Clid, and probably setting up for that bottom lane, because Ornn versus Gragas, not too much action I would expect to come out in the top side. So I think both leaning very heavily into the 5v5s, both leaning heavily into the front to backs. I think FPX want to lean more on their global ult usage coming through to set them up for success and go into mid game with the lead, to where for LGD, if this game gets a bit longer, a bit more drawn out, they have a heftier front line, they have the Ornn items they can rely on, and despite the nerfs, Zeri still incredibly strong this patch.
Oh yeah, Zeri's still going to be doing what we saw in the last one. We didn't get a swap over. That's everyone out of lobby. I thought so, Lyric. When the Yuumi goes to Summit in the top lane and doesn't get traded, we know there's a problem with the pick ban. So, seems like there's a bit of an error, and we're going to have to remake that one at the very least.
You know the worst part is, whenever this would happen, you used to always default back to the arcane quiz. But now you've actually done it. Uinox did it,
was
which means it could no longer be leaned on. So what do you do now?
It's so rubbish. Like, first of all, the arcane quiz, it wasn't official Riot Games. Now I lean back to going on Amazon because, Lyric, there's something I can actually pre-order. And I feel like I'm a Riot Games spokesperson. Maybe I get some more deals. Maybe I get some voiceover deals from them. Because Ruination is what I'm all about at the moment. I don't read books anymore. I play League of Legends. I lose horribly, but I don't read books. I need to spend my time on video games. And this novel coming out is talking about Callista before she went to the Shadow Isles. I didn't know Viego was actually the king.
He was the king.
He was the king.
Vex is like in love with him. Viego's like trying to revive his dead lover or something like that. Hecarim's like the general of his army. Yeah. Shadow Isles lore, super cool. Can't wait for the TV show about Shadow Isles. Or if that just gets into Arcane. Who knows?
That's a good point. I mean, I'm hoping they link it all together because we've waited a long enough for Arcane. It's kind of like how long we waited for Stranger Things, to be honest. Don't worry, folks.
Or how long we've waited for Rookie.
Yeah. Well, that's only 5 weeks. Arcane has now been about half a year. Apparently, it's coming out later this year, though, I will say. So we're okay.
How long was Stranger Things?
Stranger Things was... Hang on. That's why I like being in front of the computer. Stranger Things release day.
I'm sorry to put you on the spot.
That's okay. 2016 it first came out. 2nd and 3rd, 4th, following in 2017, 2019. 3 years we waited for Stranger Things. And it's been renewed for a 5th and final season coming up.
Also, just once again to reiterate, if anyone's wondering why we're just talking about, important things in the universe, champions didn't get swapped over at the end of pick ban. Probably assuming we're remaking that one with the same picks and bans that did come through. So we get Twitch Yuumi.
Yeah, we do. We still get the same picture, assuming so. Just not Yuumi in the top lane for Summit. At the very least, I will say $22 for a novel to pre-order, Lyric. Kind of not happy about that one. I'm not sure if I'm gonna get it or not, but
I feel like that's too bad.
It's okay. I'm just tight.
Yeah, that's like standard price.
But I want the League of Legends, the open book, the one that's like, it shows Summoner's Rift. What's it called? Realms of Runeterra. You know what I mean? It's a massive picture book. You put it on your coffee table and you show all the people that come over, like, look how beautiful my video game is.
Is that what you do?
Do you know the one I'm talking about? Or kind of. Do you know what I'm talking about?
You know what? Earlier you mentioned the power of, being in front of a PC. I, of course, know what you're talking about.
Look it up. It's illustrated. So it's like an illustrated book. Wow, it's got 2,000 ratings on Amazon as well. And it's this massive book that just kind of shows, like, the making of League of Legends from. I think there's some champions in there. It's the one they released around 10th anniversary or something, as far as I know. So it is a piece of work. In a good way, I guess. We're still waiting for Big Band, folks. That's why we're still here. I can tell you the reason. Summit and Hung were unable to trade champions. Band pick remake remains the same, though, as what we saw. Game is about to start, so we're getting into Summoner's Rift. Buy your books online if you want, or don't. I'm not getting a commission, unfortunately.
Or support your local bookstore.
Yeah, go in because books are dying. People are using computers now to read their books. They're using Kindle. Books are dying. Think about all that paper we're saving. Yikes. Can we get into the game now?
Wait, so wait, the paper we're saving, so you don't want them to buy books?
No, I don't know. Well, yeah, I guess I don't want them to buy books. That's true. I haven't read a book in a while. You know, you just get out of that stage and you just get out of a routine because normally people like to read every day, and
I feel like you traded in the books for cooking and cooking your delicacies.
True.
Your ham jam wrap, which is something I wish the people watching this could experience.
Man, that wrap in Ireland, yeah, they missed out. I feel like when we were cooking together though, I just had to be weird. I just had to be different. Brought the Vegemite to Ireland. I decided that, hey, we're all going to try it again. Dagda decided to really get into it. Dagda loves Vegemite. I left my Vegemite with Dagda's family, which is just strange to me. Like, no one likes Vegemite outside of Australia.
Yeah, I'm so sorry for them. I'm so sorry.
They wanted it. They wanted it. So, yeah. Hopefully we're going to get into game shortly. We're still just waiting this out because Summit and Hung, unfortunately, without the swap coming through, I was told the game starts now, but I've been lied to. Game's not starting now because we're still here.
Look, this just means we need to be incredibly harsh on everything they do. Ward slightly off, maybe slightly out of bush. Hung, get good, get better. Summit, any CS missed. He is now gone. Hysterics is subbed in.
Oh, yeah.
That is how the series progresses forward.
You know what? All I have to do is play Karma or Senna, and maybe I'll get 1/5 of the level there. And that's my progress. That's the potential I can guarantee you is FPX guaranteed us a ripper of a game one. It was over so quick. Maybe that's why we had to have the pause in the end. As we return to the Rift, side swapped, and LGD want to do the same thing they did in the first game with a potential late invade and maybe set up vertical jungling once again for Assum and JinJiao, where we talked a lot about that damage source being a priority.
Yeah, definitely going to be all about the AD carries in this game, especially the later that we go. No crazy shenanigans level 1 like we potentially almost had last game, but ended up not coming to fruition. And yeah, kind of excited to see where both junglers look early on. I think it's very obvious that both have potential in terms of the mid jungles, right? CC mid laners able to set up the damage that could come out from their junglers. And LGD, not actually going to opt into the late invade into enemy jungle. And both junglers looking like they're going to start on their top side.
Surprised FPX didn't drop a ward as well. You can see now Care actually going into the enemy jungle to do so, but defensive vision not set up with the potential for a repeat play, and Care spots out that the Raptors are there and still starting, so might give a bit of info over to FPX with the topside start for Clid and Summit giving a leash too, so we're changing things up as Assum and JinJiao are going to get a warm surprise. Exhaust down with the cleanse at level 1. A 2-man knockup is great from JinJiao, but Assum is left on an island. He's got flash available, already burnt the cleanse, and just like that, the level 1 given over to Lwx and Hung with the cheekiest Twitch play we've seen.
And it's crazy, too, because that just feels so textbook coming out from Twitch players, right?
Yeah.
Starting the queue level 1, being able to go in, getting that bonus attack speed going, and just running down these laners who aren't really well-equipped to deal with the level 1 trade coming out. So, nice job from the FPX spot lane. We know, like Lwx said in the pregame interview, they feel more experienced. They feel like they're the better duo. This is how they did it right. Get up close and personal, pop the ambush, you come out, you get the, I think it's like 40% bonus AS at level 1.
Yep.
Having 2 aggressive summoners on the Yuumi as well just guarantees you're going to be able to win out this trade.
And the fact that Lwx got that kill too, the fact that Lwx denied Assum around this second wave as Care's being caught out here. He's got the flash available, gets over to his jungler, manages to survive the damage as well. Good trade here from Shadow, who does get a response play back from LGD.
Yeah, is able to take away Care's flash, which is mean FPX's mid lane are going to have to play a little bit more respectfully and could potentially set up for a Yeji to have that prio to impact the map. Still didn't go down, so good of Care to hold his flash. And yeah, both teams finding advantages in some different areas, one of which is top. And surprisingly, we're not having the standard Gragas build we've been seeing, right? Which has been the first strike into that full CDR build. Oh no.
Oh yeah.
Oh
yeah,
no, Clid.
Oh yeah, G. He got the scuttle taken away, even pushes him up to level 4. This Lissandra, by the way, if we're talking about lanes, Yeji, right now 10 CS up here with the first strike. Lissandra doing so well. As Shield Duran comes through, the Glacial Path going to be denied that timing. Not great, though. We're just talking him up with the Sonic Wave connecting. K has a Justice Punch somewhere hidden there, but seems to already be using on a cooldown. Yeji gets out with his Summoner still intact, and he'll be able to teleport back to lane.
Yeah, good thing picking up on that teleport. He'll be just fine in terms of not having to worry about losing any minions on the bottom lane. But JinJiao...
Again, Hung is the one getting low. It's the Yuumi, and he will fall before he can remount. Lwx wants to trade, but JinJiao's not going to let him. The Ignite down, a response from LGD's bottom lane. Things starting to turn up right.
Assum not even needing that W to connect, just Hung not having those summoners available. The Ignite coming out from JinJiao was enough to make the play possible, and LGD want to double down.
Well, Shadow doesn't have his flash available, so if he goes in for this one and botches it, it's going to go downhill fast as Hung is still pretty far away. Lwx wants to get out, but towards his support, he flashes. Connecting here from Shadow as Hung still hasn't remounted until now. Lwx stays invisible and Shadow backs away, while Clid might be looking for a response on the top side, but it's just stealing camps.
Yeah, I think opting into anything more would be a little bit difficult. Care still only level 5, so can't even turn that to a 3-man play as well. And LGD back here once again with more members.
All right, with the Glacial Path, that might help out. The TP's coming through, but it might be too late. Ignite trade onto JinJiao means Hung gets the kill, but LGD's dive is still a rapid success. With TP also denied, thanks to Fairness in the top side, LGD open up the play right back in their favor.
Good coordination coming out from LGD with Fearness stopping that TP from coming through, but now FPX won a response so they didn't just lose out egregiously in the bottom lane. But look at the mini-map. Both JinJiao and Shadow are on their way.
Well, there's no level 6s for anyone here. Can they get the kill? Because Fearness buying time. Shielded Duran once again. The Winds of War help out, and Clid secures the kill. Well done from FPX. A response dive in the top side.
Yeah, Fearness going for the knockup before anyone's even taking aggro as well, so not able to hopefully lock anyone down and look for a 1-for-1 trade. LGD's members not going to be able to get there in time, but still, with the advantages they have found in the bottom lane, I feel like they can be happy with how the game has gone so far. We see the engage coming in here. Nice CC chain from JinJiao into the lockdown from Yeji, and then Shadow and Assum bringing all the damage.
Two clean tower dives at that one as well. Lyric, I'm coming back in with a little bit of a hoarse voice. I just choked on water. So I had a moment there. Thank you for covering. But 2 clean tower dives. You know, cleaner than me swallowing liquid. And what we see is gold still being even, and the game...
Hysterics, it's again, we get more.
Pacing up, the Glacial Path not going to be taken from Yeji, though, even with the prison available. Doesn't want to follow through. Clid was seen, and they back away, especially with Care getting close to 6. Back now 6, with his ulti leveled up. Care can always match.
Yeah, clears out the ward, so hits level 6, leaning down towards that side. Looks like we potentially might be getting a 2v2 around mid. Yeji could be able to move first, but Care has the ult.
Shadow taking it in on Clid. Health advantage here for now, and mana bar going back to full as Clid goes over the wall. Sonic Wave connects onto JinJiao. Lwx and Hunger nowhere nearby as the hero's entrance on top of this Galio, but Care now has to re-engage with Predator used, the Ghost as well, running down the enemy jungler. Shadow doesn't have the ulti available with the Sonic Wave taken at max range. Clid regrets it instantly as Lwx is without his support. It's a nightmare. Oh my god, that's a free one too. Goodbye, Hung. Triple kill for Assum, and FPX decided to play the splits in that team fight.
FPX giving us one of the most dominant Game 1 wins we have seen so far this split. Are getting pulled apart a little bit by LGD, a little bit by themselves. Clid following in that queue. Now sets up for LGD. Win out a huge skirmish in the bot lane. You pick up a dragon. Getting close to the Herald mark with the 2k gold lead already. We're going to see how it all starts off with Clid looking to be the aggressor. They know they have the ultimate from Care ready to follow through. But JinJiao able to escape. You have a lot of mobility on the Zeri as well. They try to run down Shadow with him having flash. Clid thinking Shadow's low enough and he can burst him out, gets knocked up by the W coming out from the Rakan, and then Yeji with a nice flash to make sure that you just cut the fight into 2 parts. And then Hung, you accept your fate.
He did. He was like, well, I'm not going to remount at this stage. And now, gold lead there for LGD, a triple kill over to the Zeri. The damage source that we said about this team, Lyric, yeah, I definitely wouldn't be worried if I'm LGD, considering that Assum is now in such a good place. His flash almost up and available too. That first item pretty close to coming into fruition, and LGD have gotten the ball rolling against a team that started with a level 1 gank from Lwx and Hunt.
And let's remember that this game doesn't really get any easier for FPX. Finding ways to get onto Assum are going to be quite hard. It's pretty much going to rely on Clid coming off on some kind of like side angle or flank. You get into the back line of the team, bring in care, works out that way. LWX pops his ultimate, but you have so many knockups like we just saw. You have, you know, Shadow able to knock someone back, Fearness with a knockup, JinJiao able to do the same, Yeji able to single anyone out with his ultimate or his W. So I feel like for LGD, barring any egregious mistakes, should be on a pretty good track to keep this momentum going.
As Fearness, okay, well, explosive cast at the perfect time from Summit. My stream lagged out there. I just saw Fearness floating through the air, but for everyone else at home, you saw Summit with a perfectly timed cast that stopped Shadow from influencing the lane.
Yeah, Fearness trying to find it. Shadow was still working, finishing off the Rift Herald when that was going down, so not going to be able to do anything, but looks like we're going to have a contest over red buff. Even Shadow making his way over.
Yeah, doesn't have that ulti backup available again, and Yeji's found out Clid, who's now behind the inner turret mid. Lockdown, Clid, they're trying to give the kill over to Assum, and with a couple more Qs, they do. So, not having that game 1 performance, Clid is returning to the criticism that we talked about before.
Yeah, Clid trying to find something. Feels like FPX are just having fires in so many places. They're just trying to find any source of an advantage somewhere on the map, but not able to do so. And honestly, just digging their grave even deeper as we get a replay of exactly how that happened. And I mean, yeah, Summit pressed start.
Well done, Summit. He's still up in the matchup. He's 30 CS, so a good news story there for FPX, but they're down by about 1,500 gold at the 10-minute mark, where they've got dragons stacking up against them. A mountain dragon to kick things off. Unfortunately, it's not assault, but you still take those boosts of stats. And a team that is so powerful that they're getting towards their mythics here, especially Assum. He's picked up the Immortal Shield Bow. Blade of the Ruined King for LWX, but we do know it is a slightly cheaper item. So at this point, Lyric, things are looking good for this game number 2. And as you said, you know, it doesn't get any better here from FPX, so I kind of wonder how they pull the trigger with this Galio, with this Lee Sin, and especially with this Twitch on LWX.
Yeah, it feels quite rough. Again, for FPX, I really don't feel like you can target topside, especially now with Fearness being level 9, having the Bomby Cinder, having some resistances in his inventory. It's always going to lead bot, but for LGD, you know that because it's kind of the same for you, right? You don't really expect them to put all too much into Summit. And for me, in my mind, LGD right now should just be looking to counterattack and counter where you know FPX are going to be putting their resources.
Because right now, you know, it's got to be towards the Dragon right in minute 15. Vision set up for now. FPX doing their due diligence, but Shadow, as he walks right past, is just going into the enemy jungle. Drops control ward of his own. JinJiao is also unleashed here on this Rakan with 100% kill participation. And owning the map for the time being, trying to get the maximum out of play. It feels like this is a good time to bring up that for LGD, you know, this team that's sitting at 1 and 4, they haven't had very many games like this split, Lyric, where, you know, everything's fallen into place. And I don't think we've seen as many games where Shadow has looked so convincing and in charge, especially against the caliber of opponents they've gone up against.
Yeah, LGD have been a weird one this split because they've had some standout games, right? Again, they took down anyone's legends. They found singular game wins against some either top teams or teams with very strong players on paper like LNG, but not able to piece everything together to be able to put those into full-on wins. I do feel like LGD are a better team than what they were in spring.
Yep.
But that's not particularly saying too much. But still, right, any sort of growth is good coming out in the LPL. And now LGD finding a good angle to play down to the bottom side again like we were getting on, not allowing for FPX to potentially try and find picks. Also right in time for Dragon coming up.
Oh, and that 610 gold going over to Assum. He's close to finishing the call by a minion as well. Dragon, for now, is going to be a late contest as LGD are sitting on vision, but it'll be spotted out and cleared. Speaking of Clid, though, as he returns into the pit, wants the Sonic Wave to steal it away. Does it! Thank you so much. LGD, they lost that one. Shadow flashes out, and Clid walks in, opens the fridge that isn't even in his own house, takes the food, closes it, shuts the door, and Shadow's just been robbed and there's nothing he can do.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Shadow wasn't robbed. Shadow was just a great neighbor. You know, being a
saying an
facilitating
episode of
host
Seinfeld. This was a
to
robbery.
a guest he didn't know he has. Yeah, he walks in. We see Smite. Smite coming out for Clid, able to find the kill, and I don't know. Rough coming out from the side of LGD, but still 2K gold lead, right? 2K gold lead. They have this massive Zeri. You hit on it before, already having the Immortal Shield Bow. Already had tier 2 boots before Lwx, who's finally been able to pick up his own and now making his way towards Zeal. So feels like any 5v5 LGD are able to piece together right now. They should just solidly be favorites in, especially considering that you do have your ults up. Your Zeri does have full summoners available, and you should be able to at least play around this roaming death squad that FPX have with the Lee Sin and the Galio.
Especially with all the turrets going down. I mean, the deeper it goes, Lwx caught out here, flashed away immediately. Rat-a-tat-tat, but I don't know about that. Hung is going to bring in his friendly neighborhood Spider-Man for the mid lane, and it ends up being a trade, but Assum is unleashed and continues shocking people. But Clid needs to shock me with a kick flash here as the escape path is turning into one of aggression. Yeji finds his way out, and we still got to look at what it was, an LGD beneficial trade at 2-for-1.
Even going beyond kills, right? You're denying CS, more XP, more gold from the Twitch, we highlighted, is really going to be the only damage dealer coming out from the side of FPX. Galio, not, a little bit, not all too much. Summit going the full tank Gragas build instead of the full ability haste one, which we've seen be the more common build as of yet. Again, not going to be too much damage, so I feel like LGD are still just all-inning on the right win con of really sitting behind the only member of FPX you need to worry about, especially now that we have Mythics pretty much built across the board.
Yeah, and a 4K gold lead that it continues to spiral. Riftail's going to be started here, though. So the one thing to say is that LGD, as they reset, won't be on the objective first, but the Shadow and JinJiao move out, and Assum quickly behind them. Summit sets up the engage. JinJiao caught out. The Ultra Shock Laser helps with the slow, but cares by himself. That call, the Fort God, was great because now he has to get back to his team, but the AoE damage, again, Summit doing work as Lyric. Yuumi on top, trying to help out this Gragas. Glacial Path taken by Yeji. Doesn't get the stun. The Everfrost slows down. It's on to Clid. Care running for his life. No one dies. Herald out for FPX, and once again, another thief in the night.
Yeah, I can't believe no one from FPX died there. Might be speaking too soon as LGD gonna posture aggressively. They're just gonna be able to turn this into a turret, but still, no real good CC able to connect on the side of LGD. Call of the Forge God not able to do anything. By the time Yeji gets in the middle of numerous members, they're pretty much already scattered. And for FPX, you blew Summit's Flash and Care's Ghost. Ooh. For a Rift Herald, we take those.
You do, 100% you do when you're this far behind, when it's only looking worse with how LGD have set themselves up. At the very least, FPX getting small windows, but we have to be realistic. It has to change more than this, Lyric. It has to be a big turnaround. And at this point, what do we look at? What item breakpoint do we see as FPX being able to take all in or set up for some of these picks?
I feel like it's going to be quite a while. Like, we're not in a point where it's impossible for FPX to be able to take a fight right again. If LGD really mess up, let's say, like, Call of the Forge God doesn't land or someone goes too forward, gets picked off too early, it's a 5v4. As, speaking of picked off, Summit actually going to be fine. But right, the fact that we don't even have a Mythic under our belt yet for our Twitch, I feel like on FPX's side, really spells that it would be hard to look into any of these fights, considering that Assum now, already even having Phantom Dancer, already making his way towards his third item as well.
Yeah, Assum has just been a monster. Is Shadow going to show us monstrous play? That flank is going to hurt. Call the Forge God through the choke as well. Layers up, and just like that, FPX are a breaking point again. An explosive cast to buy time is great from Summit, but Care still lost his jungler, lost his AD. Summit is now the one exposed as well. And LGD have a free dragon to take in 20 seconds because once again, FPX walked into certain danger.
It is just crazy how, again, FPX can have like these close series with the RNGs, the EDGs of the world, and then lose to IG and come against LGD. And LGD, I mean, props to them. Good, like having a great performance after they made those roster swaps coming into game 2. But FPX is really getting dismantled.
Well, with Dragon going down, all I can say is that it feels like we're going to a game 3 quite handily. Feels like LGD control themselves.
FPX not only made us wait to get the game, they're also making us wait to watch Rookie. How dare they? As we see here, I mean, JinJiao running forward and then Assum coming in on the opposite side. They guarantee that first kill going down. Summit spreading them out a little bit with the cask that he's able to find, but still not doing all too much.
Lyric, my stream seems to have paused.
My stream is also paused.
Oh my god. Okay, well, we can only imagine that right now, LGD are piloting down a side lane. We don't know what side lane, but things are still looking good enough for them. Now, Lyric, I have the blessing of being able to look at another video while I wait for my stream to come back. FPX are going to put a herald down at the bottom side. That may have been about 20 seconds ago, but we're just missing this one out. If you get the feed, Lyric, take it. It's all yours.
I was going to say, well, we still don't exactly have the feed, but like you said, we have other ways of seeing what is going down. Yeah. Might be in the past, but yeah, right now it looks like LGD setting up, or at least resetting after they made that play on the bot side, is Assum and Yeji at least being incredibly aggressive.
Oh yeah, I'm still trying to, you know, take us away with your wisdom. You've got stuff to talk about. You know the game well. I just spam center and solo queue in the hope that I get, you know, past gold.
Let's be real. Oh, it's back.
Oh, I did.
We have streams.
Hell yeah. Okay, we're gaming now, boys, and the gold lead got a little bit smaller, actually. I think it was a herald play on the bottom side that we saw on the end of the stream. It's because FPX were able to pick up that last objective, at least find something in this game. Now moving into River. Just look at what they're up against. I mean, Shadow and Yeji, both with bounties, 10 stacks on this Lissandra. We didn't even talk about the damage out of Lissandra, but still feels like something you need to consider.
Oh yeah, especially right, getting into these team fights, finding that first kill, and then getting all the frozen ice zombies, just causing chaos against a team composition that does group up quite heavily together, right? Again, Clid jumping in with Care on top of him, Summit ideally looking for those body slams, getting into the thick of things. Feels like Yeji can definitely deal a ton of AoE damage coming through. And with the fact that it looks like we're at least posturing for a play towards topside, FPX trying to bait a play with the vision control that they have. Be a nice time to keep track of summoners. With Lwx having both of his up, feels massive. Care might not have flash. Doesn't feel all too impactful, but you know, that could have been a tool used to guarantee you get onto Assum. But Assum, another player, all of his summoner spells up. Feels like that at least both teams, right, shouldn't lose their AD carries to any shenaniganry.
Oh yeah, I mean, the level 11 Zeri especially, that Infinity Edge picked up. Who locks him down before they die? At this point, Assum is going to probably be showing us the answer, but more importantly, he's going to be popping that out as JinJiao with the engage blocks up Care. This Galio does not want to face off against the bottom lane, and so he has to forego the top side turret, while the rest of FPX right now still playing defensive with their vision and leaving Summit to try and add some pressure of his own.
Yeah, you can see FPX realizing, right, we can't contest, so we need to go look to trade side and play towards the opposite of the map. At least get some vision down, at least clear some camps away. We will lose tower, but this could even give you a bit of vision setting up for when LGD reset and they look to come take control for Dragon. Sadly for them, they won't be able to get all too much because you are playing Gragas into Ornn, so you can't really threaten any sort of plays onto that tier 2 bot lane turret. And even if you would have gotten any vision established, right, LGD, now that they're making their way towards the bot side, would be able to clear that.
JinJiao who's going to set up the engage, so I think Clid might be a bit too far forward. Hung as well as quickness is denied. A good Dragon's Rage here from Clid, but Hung as well with the final chapter, doing his own piece of merit. But with those two ultis down, with FPX on the bottom side, Lyric, you said it, purple thing is going to get attacked.
Yeah, looks like LGD potentially aiming for the pick, but they did have pings come down onto the bear. They're just going to outright start it.
All right, Care's at least here. But even with their summoners up and available, item difference is going to be massive as Yeji is zoning off. Sonic Wave narrowly escaped by Yeji as Shadow's tanking this one up. He's by himself for the time being as they turn for Summon, but this is a tank Gragas. 5 members on top of him, and just like that, it's just like butter as Lwx is now caught out. The crackdown from Assum, who's so far ahead. Give him more and more kills as Clid is left alongside Hung. This defense from Care is not going to be enough. Glacial path taken. Assum running forward. He cares not here as he's still ignited down. He will die. And maybe it's okay here as Care seems to be the new damage dealer. Onto JinJiao as well. Shielded Duran, great as Clid loses Yuumi. It goes on top of Care, who runs for his life. The Winds of War. Glacial Path going to be taken. And this mid laner seems to be doing a lot of heavy carrying. As Winds of War once again there, the TP from FPX. How long has this fight gone for? And how the hell did FPX win it?
We can just see Care specifically zooming around with the ghost. I mean, heck, Yuumi's E giving more bonus movement speed, just kiting them. Oh my god, is Fearness gonna win this? There's no way, right? He doesn't win these.
He's okay. He's close though, but
your amount of disbelief was making me a believer in the impossible. But FPX looking like they should be able to guarantee themselves a dragon, but being maybe too hesitant, it's going to buy time for the bot lane of LGD to come in. Huge TP flank for Yeji.
That's going to hurt. Yeji with the ultimate up as well. Summit trying to zone out as Dragon will go down to FPX, but it's only naturally secured by Care as Everfrost on top of the top laner. Hung dies as well on his transition. They get the Dragon, but losing 2 more means LGD will have the map for a while.
Yeah, LGD are like, let's not get pulled down into chasing down these 2 members. Baron's up on the top half of the map. We can look to contest this. Fearness has TP up, so can always join in the fight. Also has Call of the Forge God if FPX try to find a way to make a steal like it looks like Clid is angling for now.
But to be fair, in the last fight, Clid and Care did it by themselves almost. As over the back of the pit, he's trying, but Sonic Wave's going to be taken here. Glacial Path, the zone out. Clid's back on in at 5k. A big ask right now for FPX, who are the throwers of Baron. As in the bottom lane, Lwx has been called out. There is a ram jam going after a little rat, and Clid can't get in the pit. Goodbye, Baron. Lyric, goodbye, Clid. Hung can't get to him. Assum gets back in control. Lwx is Fearness.
What is this?
Just battling it out. Maybe old friends.
Yeah, chase him down. Weak. You know, the amount of time Fearness spent to that, though, was pretty impressive. But yeah, LGD able to find the Baron. They find some picks as well. And Assum just coming back stronger and stronger each time. They don't have too much siege potential, right? Very low range composition that typically wants to transition kills and skirmishes into objectives. So sadly, not going to be able to pivot this push into any turrets. But recall, get some more items under your belt, start establishing pressure down towards that bottom side. Even though Dragon's not up for a couple of minutes, right, you have mid and bot tier 2 towers to push for.
Okay, replay time. I guess we're just watching over the Baron that was missed out. I'm not sure what we expected out of this one.
Yeah, we see Clid trying to find a way in, has to kick JinJiao, but JinJiao knocking him up with a W. Means can't get any closer. Shadow and Assum finish that one out. And just the amount of lockdown opening up the Zeri to find another kill. 10, 2, and 6 on the Zeri.
Yeah. And should have an upgraded item coming soon as well.
This guy's the rookie. Lwx was talking a bit of smack coming in.
He was.
And he's getting smacked.
More experienced bottom lane on FPX. Should have no problem. Game 1 that was true, but this game LGD have cornered them. FPX, couple of question marks, but more importantly, Assum once again showing that he's a rookie you should invest in. But get the English out, maybe we'll see. But the Glacial Path not taken once again. Beater still pressuring down the bottom side turret, but look at mid with the Baron buff coming through. LGD have multiple lanes to play through here, and Clid's going to try and get something out of it. As, okay, kick onto Yeji. He's going to get locked down with the tomb once again. Call the Forge God Care. Going golden himself, but now he dies. As someone comes in the side with Hung on top, but Hung not doing too much here. With Summit left alive, Hung getting demounted. And the Gragas left standing. FPX, they're going to be clobbered in similar time fashion to how they were clobbered in game 1.
Yeah, LGD find the picks. Clid, I don't know if the Lissandra with the ult and the stopwatch was the right target to go for, but big congrats to LGD, able to find such a decisive win over FPX.
Well, we talked about this team kind of being a little bit better than we perceived. FPX, this was a very different game though. And running into game 3, the expectations be damned, because the Phoenix right now has given us a portrait of their flavor. What flavor is that though?
We cemented that it is not pineapple ice cream in game 1. We're still searching for what it is. But LGD come in, they bring back Fearness, they bring back Shadow, they bring back the old guard. And that was enough. And FPX, I mean, a ton of mistakes coming out, right? I mean, from the early game, their bot lane just getting heavily punished. So many skirmishes, so many like over aggressives towards that bottom side, opening up members like Yeji, members like Shadow to come and punish. Heck, Clid trying to like look for cross maps, invading enemy red buff, just ends up getting picked off again, giving more kills over. And yeah, kind of seeing the duality of FPX coming through, right? The fact that their bot lane, we've seen games where they just completely take over and get ahead, but games like this where they fall behind, they're not able to find an impact. Same with Clid, game 1, completely taking over, not able to make do with what he had in this game 2. And, you know, again, pushing us back in terms of seeing rookies return.
That's right. We don't get to see V5 at least for another maybe hour. I think this has been something that we've seen in the past couple of days, especially like teams like FPX, Weibo Gaming, right? Pulling out these incredible game 1s and then just dropping the ball. Everything changes, looking like a completely different team. I don't know what's happening with the LPL right now, but some of these mid to lower tier teams just look silly.
Well, I feel like it's very weird because I feel like as a whole, our like bottom tier teams, maybe other than WE, look slightly better than they did in spring, but still, I mean, being towards the bottom of the LPL is being towards the bottom of the LPL, right? It's still not looking good. To our top and middle tier teams look a whole lot more troll. So definitely a lot more inconsistency, I think, coming out of most teams this split, right? Ever-changing meta, trying to find the groove of where we're going. But yeah, FPX, I mean, not a good look for them when they just came off such a decisive win over JDG. LGD able to find some momentum, though, with this promising AD carry that they have brought into the fold this split. And, right, we've hit on Shadow a lot ever since he's come on to LGD as being the player to watch. But it's kind of nice that there's another player on LGD who could potentially inspire some hope for the future in terms of what their roster can build on.
Even Yeji having some of those games. We've seen previous Galio games where he does the same. There's a bit more stability in that regard. And it's nice also seeing someone like Phoenix returning to his old roots. When he came into the LPL the first time, things like Ornn, Sion would always make their way onto the Rift, whether we were in the meta for it or not. So it does feel like for LGD, we got a lot of comfort through today, but I'm also very glad that we get an LGD that can push us to a Game 3 because they deserve it at this point, and Game 3 throws everything up into the air to see if FPX can regain glory or if LGD is suddenly switched on and rearing to go in the LPL.